What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. It's Ars. Let's get productive. So today we're going to be talking about Lunacy Audio, which is an incredible plugin company. They created Cube, which is one of my favorite sound design instruments. But I've always thought that the effects inside of Cube were really incredible. And if they created a plugin out of it, it would be really dope. And they did that when they came out with Beam. Now, Beam is a multi-effects beast of an instrument that allows you to take your sound and warp it in space and in time, and transforming your sound into outer worldly dimensions and making it sound super incredible. They have a granular effect inside of it, a reverb inside of it, a filtration effect inside of it. It's just a really dope plugin. And this plugin came out maybe close to a year ago. I'm not 100% sure, but it came out a little while ago and a lot of people did reviews on it. But with Black Friday coming up and with a lot of deals around, I felt like I should probably go back into some of the plugins that I didn't touch base on and shed some light on it now that a lot of you guys are shopping for new gear during Black Friday. And I feel like this was the perfect opportunity to talk about Beam. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. Lunacy Audio, Beam, let's see what this thing is all about. So as always, I have Logic queued up and this is Beam. Now, when you look at the screen, and you just look at the little details in the UI, right off the bat, I get excited about it because the level of quality in their UI designs has always been really, really top tier, next level. But what they did inside of Beam, as far as how it looks and the user experience of it, is really fun, but really just amazingly beautiful. Not only how clean the resolution is, but the graphics inside of it is insane. Like you'll see in a second when I start adding some of the effects to it, but some of the visual graphics inside of the UI looks like something you would see in a Marvel movie. Like it's so clean. So it's just so interesting. And we'll take a look at it here in a second, add one of the effects so you can see what some of these things look like. Right off the bat, as you can see, the UI design is pretty incredible. It's so incredible, in fact, that in the settings section, you can actually go to the graphics quality and change it from low to high, just in case you don't want to overload your CPU. It looks like some kind of power you would see coming out of a superhero's hands or something like that. It's so clean, but I'm gonna take these, they call them nodes. I'm gonna take these nodes off the screen. Nodes are the different effects that you can add inside of the plugin. Right now, there's 4 nodes that they have available. When you purchase this plugin, there's only gonna be 3 that it comes with. There's a 4th one called a time node, which is incredible. But you can add these nodes onto the stream here. This beam that's shooting through on the plugin. I think they did a really good job at showcasing visually what is actually happening in the effects. There's a beam shooting through the screen here, and this beam kind of represents your sound source. So whether you're playing a piano or any instrument you're playing, it's all inside of this beam that's shooting through the plugin. And you can add different effects onto the beam. So for example, if you go down here to add nodes, you can pick between space, grains, time, and filter. Space is a reverb effect, grains is a granular effect, time is a time bending effect, and filter is what it sounds like. It's a filter. And you can just grab any one of these nodes and add it onto the beam. So for example, you might take space, you drop it right there, and you have your reverb on there. And you can click on space right here and make adjustments to that reverb. So you have a bunch of different types of reverb, and it's loaded with different types of reverb. But once you start going through the different reverbs, you're gonna notice that the node starts to change shape. So if you switch, it turns into a square, turns circular. They do a really good job at visually showing you what's happening with your sounds. And you'll see what happens as I change the reverb. They have a mixing section. Every single one of the nodes that you add onto the beam has its own individual mixing section. And then up here at the top of the screen, you have your overall mixing knob. So you can individually mix the node effects that you're adding onto the beam and then mix all of the nodes into your sound with this mix knob right up here at the top. You can then add another node by going down here and let's pick grains. You can add the granular effect right here. And you can actually change the path and add a new path to your beam. So there's kind of like parallel paths of effects that can happen inside of this thing. So you can get really detailed with how intense and grand and spacious and outer worldly you want your sound to sound, while still maintaining control of the mix of those effects and the parallel nature of how they're interacting with each other. And if you want to kind of tame certain aspects of that effect, you can do it by adding different parallel beams inside of the effect itself. So you can have grain there, space there, you can add filter down here, and every single one of these effects, you can go in and kind of detail it and carve it out to sound how you want it to sound. Right down here, you have your LFO and your envelope section where you have your ADSR and all of those things. And they have a very extensive list of presets. I mean, extensive. And you can find the exact type of sound you're going for as far as effects are concerned by just clicking on these different tabs right here. Select whether you're doing something on keys, pads, vocals, or drums, or you can come over here to these different tabs and look for textural effects, expansive effects, and over here in the Lunacy folder, you have a bunch of presets for different types of sounds and instruments and things like that, and click on, let's say, bugs in the stereo, and you can see what this sounds like. As you can hear, it really warps your sound in a lot of different ways. Like even with the grains effect, if you open it up, you can get really insane with the grains. And as you're changing the rate of the grains, you'll see more grains are added into the box here. And I lowered the graphics quality, but even on the lowest graphic quality selection, you can see how cool all of this stuff looks. Visually, it's telling you exactly what's happening to your sound. This thing is an outer worldly beast that just captures your sound and puts it inside of a pot and mixes it and mangles it and stretches it in so many different ways that there's like no limit to the ways it can creatively spark new ideas. I mean, I'm using this on a piano for a beat that I created, but by putting this on the piano, I started getting ideas for a whole new beat. And one of the cool things you can do is once you've mangled your sound with Beam, you can bounce that sound out inside the project and resample it, and then put it inside of one of your samplers, like say like Serato or something, and you can play it as its own instrument and make a completely different beat out of it. Now, like I said, it comes with the 3 nodes, space, grains, and filter, but there's a 4th one here, time, and that's available for purchase on the website for $49. So essentially what they're gonna be doing is releasing new nodes as time goes on, and you can kind of purchase them like expansion packs. Now, what I wanna do, because I feel like the best way to show you the capability of Beam is to actually just use it on a sound. So I'm gonna take this piano that you've been hearing and I'm gonna just start adding nodes and start playing with it and let you hear what you can do with Beam. now that I did that, let's hear what this sound sounds like inside of the beat that I actually created. Now, what I did just added a little bit more atmosphere to the piano sound. Now we're gonna play the piano with Beam on it, and this is how it sounds inside of the beat. Yeah, so that's it. That's the beat I made using Beam. Now, like I said, this thing is an outer worldly multi-effects plugin. So you're really going to be able to dive in and mangle your sound with this. This isn't necessarily a plugin that you would use to just get a room sounding reverb. Like you're making some drums and you want the snare to sound like it's in a live room. I mean, you could achieve that with this. You could use this to get that sound, but I feel like this plugin shines when you're really trying to do some incredible sound design and really push your sound to an outer worldly kind of space. And that's when a plugin like this really comes in handy and really shines. So, you know, Lunacy Audio made an incredible plugin. Beam is really dope. I'm really having fun with it. I really like the sound, but I really enjoy using it and looking at it on the screen and moving the knobs around. It's really cool. But let me know what you guys think. Is this something you can see yourself adding to your arsenal? As always, if there's any new plugins you want me to review on this channel, leave it down in the comment section below. I'll get to it as soon as I can. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you can stay notified anytime I drop a new video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.